Good morning from Green Steel USA LLC. Today we are still harvesting a lot of our okra tree plants that are still very much growing. I have all this I need to process and get them into our Ziploc bag for next year. We do sell seeds out here at Green Steel USA. You could reach out to me by leaving a comment below. If you want to reach me by my email address, it's greensteelusa19@gmail.com. We are still currently harvesting our green basil, which I just recently, last night, snipped this off the tree. You can still see they're very well green. After I'm done with the basil, I put it in our grinder, our basil grinder, and we grind it down, which this is still in the process of being dried out. This is for my home. Right now, my hands are clean, I promise you. This is for my home, so therefore I don't wear gloves. But when I'm processing it for customers, we always have our gloves on. This is oregano too. We also process it by putting it in a food grinder and chopping it down to the little bitty parts. We have a lot of okra. Basically, they're all dried out with their, you can hear the seeds. They're all dried out down here. So this also has to be processed for customers, and they go in their own little bags. We like to have little pretty designs and stuff on our bags when we're selling it out. It tells you what kind of seeds you're getting in a bag, and it has a garden seed planting chart of the type of vegetables that you are getting from us. So this was a cute little design. The purple turnip tops, purple top turnips, those are like little baby seeds. And we just sprinkled them out there. But I like the design of the bag. The lady created it for me. So that's where we're going to get that hopefully next month or two. Everything is coming around real good out here. Unfortunately, I tried to bring back this dead bamboo that I found outside, and it hasn't worked well. But everything is coming together out here. We haven't gotten any rain, but the temperatures are dropping, and they're dropping nicely. It's about 75 degrees out here today. And, of course, the sun is out, brightly shining. But currently right now it is not hot. And I was happy to say I had to check to see where one of my animals went to. But we did put lettuce into the ground out there. We have our winter kale. We have squash. And then we have the blue dwarf curled type kale, which is something interesting to start to see. So yeah, I'm just getting all this stuff processed down for today and continue to put them in the bags. A bag like this, I normally would fill it all the way to the top, and I sell it for $10 because you're getting over 2,000 okra trees, seeds. So that's a lot, you know, that's a lot. But if you harvest your seeds down, and basically, like I said on a couple of my last videos, we just, you know, slice them open down in this particular area. And you can hear it. The seeds are in there. And we just process them down. And basically, when you open up the pods, there's the seeds. The seeds are all in there. And basically, that's all I've been doing. I'm going to try to get into... I have a lot of little projects out here on the ground. I try to keep everything in totes to keep them organized. But those are my glass collections that I have recently gotten in all different places. The ones that are on the bottom, all those Coca-Cola and Pepsi products. I even got like a glass 1 liter, which is the size of our 2-liter standard bottles right now. All these bottles I've gotten out here in the back of my property. And then the ones on top, I got them at somebody else's property. Mr. Hahn, they gave us those T-posts. I was telling you the other day, which I left out of my video, that he gave us 68 acres worth of T-posts and those wooden poles all for free. It was a complete tear down. He didn't care. He just wanted them off his property. So I was able to scoop that up. And like I said, anything for free, I'll take. Because who has money to be wasting on $3 a piece T-posts? They could be costly. I have 8 acres here. I got 68 acres worth of T-posts and wooden bars. So eventually, hopefully next year, we'll be able to have some animals out here where therefore they'll be able to be secured with the metal T-posts and the nylon electrical fence, which seems to work on a lot of people's videos that I have watched on YouTube and home city videos. But like I said, I'm just trying to get all this stuff back up into these bags. Continue to process the beautiful basil. They're really, and I wish I had smell-o-vision. They really are nice. A lot of the stuff, like I said, that I got in my shed are all from free. I found this out there in the woods. Old school lumber saw out in the woods, abandoned. We got the washboards, which I'm not the small one, but this one I do use all the time when I'm just hand washing stuff. All these saws I got for free. This metal thing got for free. The guitar got for free. This thing got for free. I also found in a move out clean the roofing tar paper. I don't have a house right now, so my house is my RV. But maybe eventually I will be able to get me something. And then we got the cotton bale weigh-ins. When you weigh your cotton bales. Got that for free. Got that one for free. Old school disc to run on your property. I found that all the way in the back of my property. I found a lot of stuff. I mean, even this metal jack thing. I don't know what it is, but somebody who watches the videos will probably see it. And I've gotten a lot of stuff for free out here, which is awesome for me. But I don't know what a lot of the stuff I have. You know, I'm a little bit into antiques. My antique things are like cameras, stamps, coins, pictures. All this is something new for me. This is something really new for me. And a lot of these bottles are like really old. Like I said, they been out there in the fields. The cover was literally on there, but because it's been out exposed to the air now, they're starting to decay. And this is an old Milk of Magnesia bottle. And it says, made in the USA, Philip Morris. But I'm going to clean them up. I'm going to get them all nicely clean. It's not in the greatest shape because it is cracked there. But it's personality to me. Then they have these, I call them the old school ink blotters, where you used to probably put a feather in and write the ink out. This one also says made in the USA. And the pattern, there's a pattern on this. The pattern, it says 1916, but there's a pattern number on it. I'll have to, again, like I said, clean them up and put them away. We got the old school, can't forget those old school Budweiser nips. Now, it's not old because I remember as a kid, at parties, my dad used to drink these little 4-ounce bottles, probably from the 70s. But it's a piece of history. You know, like, it was a good find I seen that because I always think of my dad. And then, like, your grandmother's old school ice cream scoopers. My grandma used to leave these suckers in the fridge and the ice cream. And it used to give it a weird taste. So I have something like that. And then, like, these brown bottles that I found, they're from all the way from Canada now. I found this at Mr. Hahn's house. This one doesn't have a cover, but there is ones up there that do have covers. Now, the ones with the covers, I really don't want to mess with, only because I only have, like, 4 of them with covers on it. This bottle here, And let me clean it up a little bit, because some of them are clean and some of them are not. And of course the dirt just came flying out all over whatever was out there. But this one is from Canada. And this is Walkersville, Canada, excuse me. And it's Johnny Walker's and Son, limited edition from Canada. And these bottles were made in 76. Okay, but it's still very nice to see. And you can see the dirt is literally just coming out of it. But all this dirt, where I found these bottles, you wouldn't even believe. I was getting those T-post holders, and I just came across a section of the land we were working. I was like, forget about these T-posts. I want to go and get the bottles. And then all the Pepsi bottles. There's a whole bunch of Coca-Cola. And all the way back there, you see the first original 2-liter. That's the first original 2-liter Coca-Cola. Now, I know these bottles have some value, but I just don't know much about it, and I don't really have time to be looking at the value. But I do want to start working on this project, getting them all cleaned up, and try to travel to the next antique glass show, basically. And then I'll know exactly what I have. Look at the old school glass pine sol bottles. This is a Listerine or pine sol bottle from 1970. It's not, a valuable year, but it's still old school. Nobody has that laying around. And then I found these antique lamps. This is a 2-liter Pepsi bottle that I found outside of my property the other day. You see, it says Pepsi. 2-liter Pepsi. I know this is a vinegar wine thingy, but I found these mason jars. I found these old school, I guess, miniature lanterns. It says Japan on it. We don't get much stuff from Japan anymore. And then these glass bottles, and it doesn't really say anything, but there is a wick in there. And then I've gotten all these other ones. I know they must be worth some kind of money. Maybe invest in getting them restored and hanging them somewhere down on my other side of the property. A physician weights scale. I have the weights down in my RV. I haven't brought them down here yet. And I just love collecting old school cookie jars. I'll make a use out of it. But then on top of it, these are crystal. Now, I cleaned this up a little bit. This is crystal. Now, I don't know what crystal goes for. This is crystal. It says crystal in it. It's imported by Artmark. I don't know nothing about it. Found that out in the woods. And then someone's grandma fills the world with joy. This is also crystal that I found out there in the woods. So I do collect a lot of stuff, and I try to find as much as I possibly can. Now, I got me some monkey orchid seeds. You see them? Look how small they are. These are the monkey orchid seeds. They actually look like monkey faces on the orchid. But I'm not going to be able to do anything with that, only because currently I want to have a greenhouse. If I start growing any kind of specialty plant, I really would like a greenhouse for it, because I don't want my hard work to go in vain. And if my husband doesn't clean up his mess, I'm going to strangle him. I just don't like dirtiness. I don't like messiness. And today I'm very surprised that I'm actually even up and about, because normally this is the time I'm normally waking up. Been fluctuating right now with my black seed oil. I feel like it has made a big dramatic improvement. But whatever I was lacking, that the black seed oil had picked up and regulated for me, it just seems like right now it starts to die off. And when it's extremely cold at night, like it literally dips down here to maybe, after riding 110 degrees feel like temperature, it dips down to, I want to say, 55, 40 degrees. Now, to some, that's not a lot. But for me, it is a lot. Now, my husband's up over here. He's finally got this section that wraps around the property. Got this all cleaned out. This immediate area here, wherever you see the greenness, that's all he has left to do. And everything else is in big piles. They're going to get ready to burn. And then we'll take all the burn piles and we'll mix it up with our hay and chicken and cow manure that we get down at the local farms. And we mix it together, let it get a natural compost. And then I mark it around my bamboo trees for the winter time. That's our next goal. And of course the landman is down there waving at me. What are you waving for? You're supposed to come over here and help me out. He told my husband put down his shovel so he could help us out with the that yellow septic tank out there. And of course I didn't get what I was looking for. Aggravation when you have to wait for the mail service to bring you stuff that you ordered almost a week ago. It's really hard when you live out in rural America because it's not like the city where you get your stuff right away. No sense trying to get Amazon Prime out here. You won't get no 24-hour delivery out here. But it is what it is. This man told us he was before Hurricane Dorian, 2 weeks before that storm came, trying to roll through out here in Georgia, which we didn't get nothing of, only in Savannah. But tell your husband he's crazy. Put down that shovel. Put it down. I'll come out next week and help you guys dig the hole for $80. Awesome. I'll pay the $80 out. It's a lot better than $300. And he's never came over here to help us, ask us if you still needed us, anything. You know, we live in an RV. We have to have some way of removing our watery waste from our RV. I don't really shower in my RV. I go to my sister-in-law's house to do it. But eventually the winter will be here. And I'm not going to be going out in the freezing cold with my hair wet. Catch pneumonia or something. So, you'll have to suck it up to the RV, do the RV pump for your shower. Well, that's awesome. But when winter comes, I'll have to have a way to dump that. I can't just be out here with no way of possibly getting rid of it. And I've checked into composting toilets, which I think I create my own one. But my teenage kid doesn't want to do that. I mean, you do that only because you have no choice to do it. And it might come down to the point where you might have no choice. Because this ground got wet. It got wet. He never he stopped digging in it because the man said he was going to come through and help him. And then failed to do so. So right now, the hole is still, don't worry about the basketball thing. It fell in there. But anyway, the hole is still in the same original condition that it was in. From Hurricane Dorian. He never followed through. This is the tank we want to get into the ground. This is the tank we want to get into our ground. This is one of the best generators I've ever owned in my life. This generator here is, I keep a thing on it, but it's the Champion Global Power Equipment Dual Fuel. It runs on gasoline and or propane. If you hook it up with the propane, you never have to start it every month. But if gasoline was entered into it every month that you're not using it, you have to crack it open, let it run for a little while, and circulate the gas that might be left in there. If you dump the gas out of it, you do have to wipe it down really thoroughly and use this blue stuff that you would put in the gas to keep the water from seizing up your generator. You could get 120 volt electricity, which is a 30 amp service on this for an RV. If you have a 50 amp service, you could always dog bone your service down to a 30 amp service. It has a standard refrigerator plug in the back there, and it also gives you 2 wall type plugs. I really love it. And it has a thing there that you could click it, 30 amp, 20 amp. And then there's also, you could go from gasoline straight to propane without having to shut it down. So that's awesome too. I really like that. And it gives you like a contraption door to tell you which one you're running on. Propane will be open right now. The propane part is closed out and just the gas is established. And it gives you a nice little funnel. It gives you the oil that it needs to be on. It runs on a 2-cycle oil, or well, what they give you is like a 2-cycle oil, but we use, if you can't find it, we use 10.5 oil, which I'm pretty sure he might have one laying around out here. Not sure, but yeah, or a 1030. Sorry, it's a 1030. And that's what you use it when your generator cuts out. If you have gasoline in it, obviously you might need oil, and you got to make sure you change out the oil filters too, probably once a month. Or it'll seize up and you won't be able to get it back up. So I have a lot of interesting things going on out here. Like I said, a lot of this stuff is starting to grow back because it's very hard as only one person with no machinery, a weed whacker, this and that, and stuff starts growing back. But winter is here, and you know, little by little, that's all I can say. Rome wasn't built in a year. I can't expect a lot. We just take it whichever way we could get it. And now I'm trying to see if we could qualify for some U.S. government grants for our business, because I really do believe my bamboo will make money for the state of Georgia. It will make money for Burke County. It will make money for Midville. It will bring jobs to Midville, because once these bamboos start taking off, after I planted 1,000 bamboo plants out here, I will need help. You know, I can't do it all by myself. And it'll bring money to Midville, Burke County, Georgia. It'll bring money to me. It'll bring jobs, like I said, out here. It'll bring money to the cotton gin that's on the corner. It'll bring money to the lumber yard that's up in Wadley. And it'll even bring money to the lumber yard going down to Valdea. So it'll bring money here. But I have to get this off. By April of 2020, I want to have 1,500 bamboo plants out here in my 4 acres of land out there that my husband's working so desperately on. And we got 4 acres worth of black, they look like tops, but they're black landscaping, so no weeds will come back. I'm praying it works, because for the few that do know me, I would just say forget it. I give up and walk away from it, and I could care less. I know I own 8 acres of property in rural Georgia, and I just take my happy, pack my RV, hit the road, and go on with my business, and just continue making the payments. The U.S. military is out practicing. I wish I had my phone the other night. My phone literally died on me. You wouldn't believe it. I'm basically standing in this direction over there on my other property by the shed. F-16 or F-15 comes out of the sky. He makes a circle. He's circling around like this. He's coming around, and now he's facing at me up in the sky. Literally that I could see his helmet. So I'm like, yay, U.S. military, and I'm waving at him. And he comes around and he's like flipping his wing like this, flipping. And then he takes off. Comes back around, comes around the tree line, coming back this way. So now I'm like, yay, U.S. military, go get him. And he hit that jet with a sonic boom. You could see the clouds like multiplying back and forth. It was awesome. I wish I did have my camera, because nobody would believe me. Nobody would believe me unless I have it on documentation, Facebook Live, Facebook video, or YouTube. One thing I can say about me, I speak the truth, got no reason to lie, and I'm a very blunt person. I tell you the way it is. I don't sugarcoat nothing. This is the way I see it. Now we could either work together or work against each other. And we have to compromise a lot of stuff. Land has to be compromised. Relationships have to be compromised. Business aspects have to be compromised. Rome wasn't built in a day. And neither is Green Steel USA. I got some big, massive sweet potatoes the other day. And I put them in the container. Hopefully maybe the rooting systems will take a little effect, so therefore I could get more big sweet potatoes. I got 3 large sweet potatoes the other day that I picked out of that garden, and I'm very happy about it. See, I try to fill it all the way up to the top, so all the rooting systems is getting some kind of water. And you know, Georgia, Donald Trump signed that farmer's bill. Signed the farmer's bill. But Georgia hasn't really gotten the legal entity out on how to grow legalized hemp out here. And I would love to put at least an acre of hemp down there at the bottom of my land. And I bring me money that way too. God gives you a seed, and God expects you to put that seed in that ground. Give it lots of sun and water, and keep on moving. It's not hard to be self-sufficient, people. Ladies and gentlemen, the going to the supermarket and all that is going to come to a stop. All the imports that Trump has imposed on many countries, and everything else is going up by immigration being deported. And some do deserve to be deported, but working families at jobs, they don't deserve to be separated. The pretty butterflies are just making their way around. I haven't seen the hummingbirds today. I don't know. I just love nature, and I love to pay attention to it. And as you can see, all the trees are starting to turn from green to pink to orange to yellow to deadness. And all these trees in the wintertime will be completely bare. This one little creepy little tree right here, I have a red-tailed hawk that hangs on it, so I'm going to leave it for them. I don't care about those trees back there. They're for the nature and wildlife. And we have some oak trees here on the property that I'm going to leave, because obviously eventually it's going to be as big as that tree back there. That's the tree of life, the oak tree. I'm going to leave that and continue going through my journey. Well, I just want to share to you what I was doing this morning. It's always busy out here on the homestead. It is a 24-hour, 7 days, 365-day job. If you're interested in doing, go for it. But if you don't have the skills and the motivation to get up and get out there and do it, then your business will never achieve anything. Microgreening is something also I'm looking into, only for my immediate area, only because we don't have a supermarket here. We have a Dollar General. We have 2 Arab gas stations, Indian, Pakistani, whatever they are, gas stations. They be out here ripping and robbing people. If you're not paying attention to what they're punching on that register, you'll be paying $30 for some stuff that you just don't even know what you bought for $30. And just keep on going forward. That's all I could do. God willing, everything will work out fine. And my children, as they get to my age, they won't have to suffer. Where I'm going to get money? My mama's not here to help me. My mama could be gone on the other side of the rainbow. At least my children have something to fall back on. And those bamboos out there will grow for 190 years. My children, my great-grandchildren, my 10 great generation of grandchildren will live out on that bamboo. It just has to get started. So if you enjoy my videos, like and subscribe. Share if you want to. And have a great day out of Burke County, Georgia, Green Steel USA, LLC.